something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches! Welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners. Hey there, ho there, listeners. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fix It. This is, I'm Jay, that's Adam.
Hello.
I was about to go, this is Adam, and I'm Jay.
That also works.
I know, but it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't say like this. This is Jay.
This is Adam, and I'm Jay, and we're here to move you. Welcome to Fix It. You may know Adam and I from just the magical and empirical Prime Meridian
Oh, okay.
of all podcast and YouTube beings. I shouldn't have said podcast.
You should not have.
We'll magically erase that.
Oh my God. We're gonna take no, that's later. We're gonna do it. We're gonna take a time turner, Jay.
Yes,
We're gonna spin it like a quarter turn. We only gotta go back about 45 seconds at this point.
It's the magical prime meridian of all YouTube channels previewed, where we react, review, riff to all sorts, all corners of the nerdverse, as it were. You may know us also from our two-man production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, that we did off-Broadway for decades upon decades.
I mean, I know both parts by heart, Jay. Remember when we switched halfway through the run? Just to switch it up?
Well, no, we played a bunch of different roles because You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown has like a bunch of people in it.
No, we just swapped tracks.
Oh, okay.
You took my half, I took your half.
I'm just saying my Snoopy was something to behold. And Adam's Linus was truly heartbreaking in so many different ways. Any hoozles, you may know us from YouTube or not. I don't care. How about? But this is our show, our podcast, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just didn't quite pronounce the Leviosa properly,
maybe didn't catch the snitch in time,
and we fix it. And today we are fixing 2016.
Maybe.
Was that
Something like that. It wasn't that long ago.
We're fixing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
It's a really bad movie.
It's a pretty spectacularly... I don't know if it's bad, per se. I would say it's just... It is a conglomeration of a lot of missed opportunities.
Well, seeing as how the movie was based on a book that was purely just about animals... magical animals, and where you could find them, and just fun facts about them.
Yeah.
And then they changed it into hey, let's explore America's wizarding world and explore what would happen if the wizards joined into World War II.
Yeah. It has nothing to... It basically was... It was Harry Potter's answer to Zoo Books, and then they turned it into like War and Peace. It was like, man, we're gonna take this fun book of magical animal fun facts, and we're gonna make it a Civil War, a Ken Burns documentary.
We're gonna turn it into a spy thriller, partially, kind of, and a political thriller, kind of, and social commentary, possibly. There were so many themes in this movie, Jay, and the focus was not on the magical beasts.
Yeah.
They were a nuisance that just kept popping up in the story while other stories were happening.
Well, it is the point that kept getting brought up at the Discord watch along. If you haven't joined the preview Discord, join the Discord. We have a fun little section just for this podcast, and every week, usually on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., I watch along whatever the movie is for the episode the next week with all the Discord peaches, and we sync up our movies and chat along, and it's super fun. Definitely come check it out. But the point that kept getting brought up was whenever that they were like, chasing and capturing the animals. I was like, this rules. I was like, I'm having so much fun right now. Like, I'm sorry, Dan Fogler getting the lava rhino musk on him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
getting
yeah.
chased across the ice. Hilarious. So fun. But then it was like, but meanwhile, every time they meanwhile, it was like, it's like back in this spooky alley with a bunch of spooky people talking to other spooky people. I'm like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank
this is
you.
not as much fun, and I'm confused as to what's going on.
So for I guess for the people, so the people that were showing up for beasts, you got them.
Kind of. But I mean, I would just say, even like in the preview, the trailer was just like, wait, why isn't Newt just going around like capturing all these beasts? What's all this? Why are all these other people here? Shouldn't it just be like Newt running around like
I was expecting
different environments, like catching stuff?
Yeah, I was expecting Harry Potter Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
But before we get too far into this,
yeah.
That was just a nice little sampling, if you will, of the discussion later on. So, hey Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I felt the baby kick the other day. Yeah.
That okay. I'm glad that it makes you so happy. That
Okay.
That terrifies me.
Why?
People show videos like you can see his foot coming. I'm like, that's just no, thank you. I think it triggers something from like a, it's like something.
No, I fully understand that.
like,
I get it. When it's like a full on foot, yeah. I just I felt like a little flutter of movement.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't
wasn't-
like an actual handprint, or it's like the spooky thing when in a horror movie sometimes when they have a face press up against a wall,
Yes.
like a ghost's coming through the dimensions.
It's not like Ebenezer Scrooge's door knocker from
Okay, yeah.
Ebenezer. Yeah, it's not like that.
Okay.
No. But it was pretty magical. Yeah, it's you know what it is, this whole concept of having a kid and what that's gonna mean. It's a lot.
Yes.
And it's gonna change our lives forever. And I appreciate the I am appreciating the magnitude of it, but weirdly for me, and I think you'll appreciate this,
Okay.
I am actually staying in pretty good spirits. I'm not letting the anxiety rule the day when it comes to that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I'm just kind of you know what? It's gonna be a lot of things are gonna change, but it'll be fine because it has to be fine because now there's a baby coming. It's gonna be when there's a baby, it's Kimberly's aren't you worried that things aren't gonna work? I'm like, it'll be what it's gonna be because it's gonna have to work out because there's a sweet little babe, and that's just fine. But it's really, I know you're stressed out.
No, I'm not all that stressed about it. Because as we talked about, my stress is just I want to plan stuff.
Yeah.
So it's okay, what's going on today? Great, that calls for Plan B. Fantastic. Institute Plan B at 2:00. I'll see you then. I just want to make the organizational chart of what play we have. I gotta make a playbook. I want to be the coach. I want to play.
I understand that.
So you can call the plays.
You've met Kimberly. You guys are gonna get along just fine when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fine. I'll be a part of it, of course.
Yeah.
But
we just gotta watch all the game film.
Yeah,
we gotta figure out some stuff.
But I'm just I'm excited to be a dad, and I think it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a nightmare. Let's be real, but it's gonna be fun.
A fun nightmare.
It's I felt the kid. I felt him move, and I could. When something happens in your life and you can kind of just feel your brain chemistry change a little bit.
I guess.
Adam, brain chemistry is what humans have to moderate their mood and overall well-being.
Sure.
Okay. I just was kind of oh yeah, that's that good. It was a dopamine hit and a pretty spectacular.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do for a dopamine hit?
Solve puzzles.
Oh.
And extract vengeance, Jay. Sweet
vengeance
vengeance.
has become a bit, but you're not really you're not actively seeking vengeance that much.
That you know of.
Okay.
Jay,
I
you're,
like
you're
that.
only at my house a couple hours a week.
What are you talking about? I'm only at your house a couple of hours a week.
A couple being like, a dozen.
Yeah, I'm at your house a lot.
You
I'm at your
are.
house like every day.
Yeah, every day, but every night, Jay.
Oh, you're hitting the rooftops? Is that what you're saying?
Nighttime is the right time,
All
Jay.
right. Fair enough. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm hunky dory. I'm doing just fine. But before we like jump into like Harry Potter proper, for those at home listening or watching who maybe have not seen this movie and are listening to this anyways, and we appreciate that. That's fine. You just want to hear our voice because we're your hashtag internet best friends. That's completely fine. But Adam, why don't you hit us with that plot in our new segment, Plot Drop?
Okay, there are multiple things going on in this movie.
Just a reminder, you're doing this as quickly
I'm going to sum this up as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Newt's plot is he's trying to come to America to drop off a magical beast in Arizona. That's the only thing he wants to do.
Ta-da.
That's his goal.
Yep.
But he gets kind of wrapped up into all this hijinks in New York because his briefcase, which is basically just a TARDIS, and I'll be referring to it as a TARDIS the rest of this podcast. Newt's TARDIS keeps opening up and magical creatures keep popping out. So a bunch of creatures pop out, and he's got to go around New York with a muggle friend, because I'm not calling them no-mages, because that's dumb.
Yeah, it also, here's the thing. Muggles to me sounds kind of silly and fun.
Yes.
No-Mage is like, ugh.
Yeah.
And,
It's got some stink to it.
And I think that's what they were going for,
I don't like it.
but it just feels like a slur
Yes.
in a way that I just
Yes.
totally I can't get down on.
Yes. So Newt bumps into a muggle. They accidentally exchange briefcases because they look the same thing. Look the same. Monsters pop out. Newt's got to get him back, and eventually he does, which is great. But all while that's going on, a much more complicated plot's happening in that there is Grindelwald, who is the first Voldemort of the century.
Yeah.
Loose somewhere, possibly in America. No one knows exactly where he is.
Or why he's other places.
Or why, because he never really explained that. But it turns out that he has infiltrated and is polymorphed or used magic in some way to take over the head Auror spot of the Magical Congress of the United States, and is attempting to use an abused child from a orphanage / religious organization that's trying to out wizards and start another Salem witch trial, which is never fully explained. It's a thing that's just kind of happening. She beats like all these kids. It's very weird. Then she dies, and then there's like a twist of like one of these kids is technically a squib, and what happens is if you suppress your magical abilities or are abused a bunch and your magic can't come out, you may turn into a giant smoke monster, kind of like from Lost, and murder a bunch of people. And Ezra Miller eventually does that.
That's why I have to, that's why I got to get my genius out there. If I just like keep the magic
You
bottled
turn into
up
an obscurial?
inside. Yeah, man, I'd destroy half of New York with my magic smoke powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes, when people are like, man, there's so much genius just bouncing around out of Jay's mouth.
Better the genius out of his mouth than the
I'm
smoky
doing it for
death
y'all's
from
safety,
his butt. Yeah.
He's too funny. Why is he being too funny? I'm doing it for your safety. Oh my god.
That's basically the movie. A lot of things that weren't tying together just kind of keep happening at the same time.
Yeah, I guess what really frustrates me is that like we have you know what this is? This is a veal parmesan banana split. This movie.
Whoa!
Follow me.
I'm gonna try, but you're going food, so you know I'm having a hard time.
I know.
Okay.
Veal parmesan.
Sure.
I love veal parmesan.
That sounds like an Italian meal.
You heard of chicken parmesan?
I have.
It's that with veal.
Yeah, that's why. That's
Okay,
how
it sounds like an Italian meal.
Yeah. The
Woo.
context clues got me to
Do you like chicken parmesan in any capacity? What about it?
the chicken.
You like chicken?
I do, just not with pasta.
Not with pasta.
Yeah,
But you like pasta.
I do.
Okay. Cool, man. Moving on. You don't have to get it with pasta. You can just eat your chicken parmesan. It's just chicken and tomato sauce with the cheese melted over the top.
Yeah, well, also there's too much cheese in it.
Okay. You can prep it however you want.
Sure.
You don't have to put that much cheese.
I'm sorry, is it just like a spaghetti on the menu? I'd love a spaghetti, please.
Anyways.
One spaghetti, please.
Anyways. It's my fault. It's my fault. I shouldn't have, It's just, you tell me not to push that button, but sometimes it's right there, and I'm reaching out, and it's the only thing I touch. Anyways, this movie is a veal parmesan banana split. Veal parmesan on its own, delicious.
Sure.
Love it. What a delicacy. Veal is problematic, sure.
Absolutely.
But also, given everything going on with the Harry Potter universe right now, I think that's actually probably pretty apt. But over here, you have a banana split. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love a banana split. Oh, it's so fun. What a festive treat.
There's bananas, there's ice cream.
But, you got the veal parmesan, which is the Grindelwald storyline, and then you have the banana split, which is all the Fantastic Beasts, and then they're just like, just mush them together. And it's like, no, those flavors don't mix at all. I don't need, that is not,
Nope.
they're like, but it's fusion. And I'm like, no.
No
It's
one
an
asked for this.
abomination is
Yeah.
what it is.
No one wants this.
No one wants this. It's like you took two good ideas and tried to mash them together, which on paper I guess works, but it doesn't.
It didn't
just
work
doesn't.
at all.
No.
Before we get too far into breaking down everything wrong with this movie.
No. I want to talk more about veal parmesan banana split.
And you will as soon as we get done with another food segment. Brian, how about you hit us with that beautiful bean fun fact footage?
Beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here, because today we're trying to fix 2016's Harry Potter spin-off, prequel, weird book adaptation of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This movie stars Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, Alison Sudol, Dan Fogler, Colin Farrell, Ezra Miller, and, surprise, Johnny Depp. This movie was directed by Harry Potter veteran David Yates and was written by the person who also wrote the Harry Potter books. This movie cost around $175 to $200 million to make, and it made around $814 million. This is the first of the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies, including The Crimes of Grindelwald and Secrets of Dumbledore. Originally, they announced there were going to be 5 Fantastic Beasts movies, but who knows? Also, if you care, this movie has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes and actually won an Oscar for costume design. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
Great job, Brian.
Well done, Brian. This movie made a lot of money,
It made a lot of money.
which is why they made a second one.
And a third.
They're
Remember
gonna-
when we got invited to go to the screening of the second one?
I do remember when we got invited, and we thought we were like, "Hey, all
thought
right,
we thought we were hot shit.
we really did." We got invited to a special viewing of the second film, like a couple weeks before it came out. I was like, "Oh man, this is going to be great." And it was like, "Hey guys, you got to be the secret keepers. Don't tell anybody any of the secrets and twists." And we got through the movie, and as we're walking away, like we definitely did not say it in the theater while we were surrounded by people. Who was a part of the production of all the stuff happening.
Yeah.
We got on the subway. We whispered to each other, "Hey, that was really bad. Wasn't
That was
it?
terrible.
That was a really bad movie.
That was a really bad movie.
What? Why did everyone do what the thing they did? That was what?
Yeah. I fundamentally had no idea, the second half of that's not the movie we're talking about today, but that movie gets even there's too much veal parmesan in this and there's no longer any banana split.
I don't think there was a single banana split.
I was like,
there was no ice cream
there's
in
no
the second
bananas.
one.
I don't
No?
sir, excuse me.
Okay, focusing back in on the first one.
Okay.
This movie starts out with with its version of a text crawl, which is just, hey, newspaper pages with moving pictures because they're wizards.
Yeah.
Of like,
And
hey,
that's fun. Who doesn't like that?
sure, but when you're trying to set up like a complicated story,
Oh,
because
yeah.
this is complicated.
Well, and also you're showing us a completely different aspect of the wizarding community, like a completely different culture of
Yes.
the wizarding community.
Yes.
You can't just tell us. You have to show us.
Yes. And on top of that, of all the other magical societies in the world, the next one, maybe not. I don't want. I can only speak for myself, but it seems like the American market is very large, and is one of the main reasons why Harry Potter is the way it is. So if you're going to show the American wizarding world, you should probably do a good job in showing us what America is like, because we know what Britain's like.
Yeah. You had an opportunity for everyone to identify with another house of a different wizarding school, and you botched it. Everyone would have bought a bunch of different T-shirts.
They mentioned this the one school in America. It was like Alamorny or something like that. I believe it's in Maine. They mentioned it once. Queenie mentions it just in passing. That's it.
Yeah.
You have the Magical Congress of the United States. How is it set up?
How does it work?
How does it work? What's going on there?
We needed George Lucas involved. He'd be like, we're going to talk about the Trade Federation for a while. And be like, cool, man. Great. Yeah.
We don't know anything about the Magical Congress of the United States.
Nothing.
We know nothing.
We get nothing on it.
We don't even spend time with them to realize what's going on there, what their point of view is. They're just like really harsh, and they don't want to hang out with the No-Mages, which, speaking of No-Mage, as we said earlier, Muggle is so cool. That's just a good term. We've all adopted it across all of nerddom. And we refer to people like when we were doing stand-up comedy a lot back in the before time. We referred to people who weren't comedians as Muggles.
Yeah,
because that's the best way of describing somebody who's not in your speciality.
Yeah.
But now you're going to come in and it's like, this is the new movie, and the Americans call them No-Mages. That doesn't flow. That's a stupid nickname, and you're making us look bad for going with that. I'm sorry. No. Soccer at least sounds cool. That's an okay substitute for football. Either or. That makes sense. You guys call it football because you don't have American football. Also fine. But at least we couldn't. If you're going to come up with a new term that we use, it's got to be as cool as Muggle.
Well, and they also set up that this magical Senate or whatever they are, the Congress, like that they have pretty very strict rules about the regular world not knowing about them, and I think they missed an opportunity to show in America that in that time period in this country, if we found out there was witches and warlocks, we wouldn't be cool about it. And I'm not proud of that as an American, but I think culturally that is something that they just kind of glossed over a little bit.
Well, I did a lot of research. Not a lot. I went through a couple of wikis to be like, hey, what is the information about America's wizarding world? Why is it set up the way it is? Because they didn't explain it in the movie at all.
Yeah.
But they retconned the information from the first Harry Potter movie when they mentioned the Salem witch trials. Because in the first movie with Harry Potter, they're like, oh yeah, the Salem witch trials. Humans thought they could actually burn witches and wizards. They thought the fire tickled. It was cute and adorable. But they retconned it now to no. A lot of wizards and witches got really effing murdered in the Salem witch trial, to the point where the American wizarding community is like, we are not interacting with them.
More interesting.
It's so much more interesting. And they could even retcon it to be like, yeah, we lie to kids about it because we don't want to scare our magical children about the fact that Muggles could outright straight up murder us whenever they want.
It's not it's not like back, in Europe where it's been around for a long enough time that the Ministry of Magic talks to the Prime Minister. They have they know, but they just, there is a delightful coexistence. Whereas in America it's and I hate admitting that that's an aspect of American life, but
it makes sense in the footnotes or whatever of all the stuff. The Magical Congress was set up over 100 years before actual America started.
Yeah,
and there was a reason why, because we need to gather up and figure out what's going on, because everyone's coming in here and the normal history of what's going on. It's oh yeah, we can't. The people that are here, we can't. No, we can't.
And also if they set that up, it makes the whole Grindelwald argument way more compelling.
And it also sets up that whole second Salem plot plot line of
Yeah.
or just people in general being like, weird things are happening. We are getting scared about something, but we don't know what. We're anxious about something, and we need to direct this anxiety
Somewhere.
towards something. And if someone just gives them the hey, what about them? Then that makes that plot makes a lot more sense.
This all being said, it comes to my main point about this movie.
Okay.
This is all like this is all like the nitty-gritty like aspects of like the Harry Potter world that like I enjoy. And it's one thing I appreciate about like this universe to a degree, because like it's rather in depth.
Yes.
This is a Fantastic Beasts movie. This is like Jack Hanna with his little lemur friend being like, hey, everybody, let's learn about animals. Like, this had no business being about any of that stuff at all.
No.
I don't think, like, this movie could have been a fun romp, and then you can, and then do the Dumbledore Grindelwald movie after the fact.
If you wanted to.
We get sexy Dumbledore
Ooh,
and Jude Law. No one's mad about that. Give him his own trilogy over there.
Sure.
I'll show up to see Jude Law be Dumbledore for 3 movies. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, we're talking about like, oh, well, like the political struggle really should have been. I'm like, it's a Fantastic Beasts movie. This is all the fun little creatures that, like, you know, that Harry Potter gets to fight before he has to go stop Voldemort.
Yeah, the beasts are this like the B plot.
Yeah, which is so stupid.
The movie's entitled Fantastic Beasts,
Yes.
and it's the B plot line.
Yeah. Fantastic B plot line.
Oh.
And where can you find it? It's nowhere to be seen.
It's every other scene for a couple minutes.
Meanwhile, in a spooky alleyway. Oh boy.
But wait, before we get to the beasts, we got to see Ezra Miller get beat up by his adopted mother for reasons. Like that whole
That was brutal.
that whole the Auror, Queenie, Ezra Miller, his abusive orphanage running lady thing, the second Salem movement, all of that was just so poorly handled.
Yeah.
It just, why are we doing any of this? And no one's doing a good job with what they're given because it's just so poorly written. It just sucks on a rope. Here's
the thing. There are 2 things, in my opinion, that really, really work about this movie.
Sure.
And their names are Eddie Redmayne and Dan Fogler.
Oh, yes.
The 2 of them, I love. You know that, like, if they had to make a movie about us, they'd be pretty good cast for the 2 of us.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
First of all, there's that. I love that aspect of it because who doesn't like seeing themselves represented on film
Sure.
to some degree? Because I'm a Jacob hardcore. Like, he's my favorite character in the whole thing. But the 2 of them,
He's
the
everyone's
2 of
favorite
them
character.
have such good chemistry right off the bat. I like it when they do things.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that they're friends. Like, but also, like, Eddie Redmayne is giving such a nuanced performance, and like he is on record as saying that like he plays Newt Scamander as like on the spectrum, and like he does such a nice job of a really nuanced portrayal of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's so much good work happening there that everything else around it being kind of a dumpster fire. I'm like, this bums me out because like this could have just been about the 2 of them. Solving
really
beast
could have
mysteries.
been. It really could have been. Because then we would have had more opportunity for Newt to explain things to Jacob.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really have anybody explaining anything to anyone in this movie. When they go inside the TARDIS, when they're at whatever the Queenies and whatever the bad Auror, which is just, why did you make her be bad at her job? That's just,
I hate it.
I hate it. I'm sorry.
I think we're both fixing that hard.
She wouldn't just go in there and try to obliviate that woman in public. Yes, what she was doing was wrong, but like, she's an Auror. There are so many ways around it.
Yeah, man.
Why would you just purposely made
The
her
Men
bad
in Black
for no
even
reason?
take him away and like tell him a whole story and everything.
It's just
in protocol.
But yeah, when they go into the briefcase or the TARDIS, like, hey, here's all the beasts, and here's what I'm writing a book. Like, are you? We never see him write the book, and he's never really like.
Oh yeah,
He needs to be right. He needs to be in the. He should have been writing the book as they go. Well, here's my draft.
fixed. That's in my fix.
Oh, it's mine as well.
Oh, okay.
Because he should be good at his job.
Because okay, guys, this movie was designed to move some product. Let's sell some books.
Do you want to know more about the beats that
Yeah.
Newt encountered in this movie? Ha
Ha-ha! We got a book
Do you
for
want
you.
a plushie of that, bomb rhino thingy, whatever, that, made
Yeah.
bombs out of things that it stabbed? Yes, I do. Great. Here's a plushie. It's $20.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
This movie's very bad, and it angers me. Because it is just so bad. Oh, and also,
I think it just, for me, it had the possibility of being good.
sure, I guess.
It had so much going for it, and it just kind of they put veal parmesan in my banana split. Gosh darn it!
Yeah, and John Voight's in it for no reason. Remember when they show up? You're like, wait a second, why are you at a newspaper? What is going on? Why is there why are we at a political rally? What is happening? Why? Why are we doing this? Oh, and he's dead?
Well, because Grindelwald wanted to destabilize the regular human government.
Yes, no, I totally get
Yeah.
that. That's a good idea, but not at the same time as all this other stuff.
No.
It's very confusing and annoying because too many things are going on and none of them are fleshed out.
But then you get Dan Fogler drinking Giga Water, and it's like the best thing.
That scene didn't go on long enough.
dude.
That was a magical speakeasy.
That was so good.
Great idea.
It's so good.
But it's
Ron Perlman as a goblin.
Yes.
Very good.
very good.
Very good.
Like a house elf being a bartender.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
But like it's over before it even starts.
Yeah.
Why is the president kind of a mean? What's her point of view? She just like impound that thing, and then when they go to Graves, I grab his Grindelwald, but it's like, well, we got to kill him immediately. Put him in the room that's like gonna oils like that's gonna kill him. Like whoa,
Yeah,
what?
dude,
No,
that seems cruel and unusual. It's like, hey, we're gonna suck your brains out from this with this liquid, and then you're just gonna be like,
just sit there and you'll dissolve.
You're just gonna be brain dead and get dissolved. Oh, okay. What?
What? Yes. What?
Hey guys, is there any due process in the magical community? Like,
apparently not.
I don't know what it is about this magical Congress, but we need to take a look. We need to take a look at their documents because there's some habeas corpus things that went like very awry in their constitution writing. Because woof.
Well, we don't have time for all this, Jay. We had multiple movies to learn about the ministry, but we got to go. We're only going to be in America for a movie, and then they're back over in Europe.
I think there's some opportunity. Like, I also think this is a British person writing what America was like a magical America was like. Because like I think if an American were writing this, I feel like an American magical Congress there would still be like American iconography. Like I love the idea of like Benjamin Franklin was actually a wizard,
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yes.
And like he's like their Merlin kind of thing. Like I think there's just a lot of missed opportunities from a world building perspective. But also what frustrates me is that I get frustrated about that, and then I remember, hey, I actually don't care at all. This isn't what the movie is. Let's go back to this other movie. This should have been the Dumbledore movie. This should have been the Dumbledore movie. This should have been the Dumbledore movie. Because I would see a Dumbledore movie.
Yeah,
I would see both of these movies.
absolutely.
Woof.
It's also there's just a market for what America is like
Yeah.
as a wizarding world.
I would have a delicious veal parmesan for my entree, and then we would move on to dessert, and I'd have a spectacular banana split
Yum.
with all the scoops.
Oh, okay. Yum yum.
Have you had a banana split?
I can't handle that much ice cream.
Oh yeah, but you usually share it with someone. It's kind of fun.
My ice cream.
You don't like to. You get like, but it's designed to be shared between two people.
Mine.
You don't share food either.
No, it's mine.
Okay, so you don't get like family style and then like share for the table.
It's too much.
I agree with that sentiment. I don't particularly enjoy sharing food.
The portions are too big.
I just never. It's just not it's just not a thing that I would have assumed you would get up in arms about. But we learn something new about each other every day. Isn't that fun?
Mine.
Make you eat a banana split.
The Very
Yeah.
frustrating. And then Colin Firth.
Oh, are
changes-
you frustrated? I can't tell.
Yeah. And then they get rid of Colin. They get rid of Colin Farrell. Like, hey,
Yeah.
he did a pretty good job. He's like, oh no,
Yeah.
but you're just like a polymorph or whatever. Actually, it's a Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, cool. Another good actor for 2 minutes. Okay, bye. And then one more movie, and then that whole
And then-
situation,
and
and then
then
that
stuff.
situation happened.
Stuff and things.
Ugh, boy.
Woof. Should we fix this movie?
Please God, let's just fix this movie.
Yeah, we gotta fix this thing. We gotta hop in, get in there, get messy. I think I'm gonna go first.
Yes, Jay, you are going to go first because
Yeah.
I have something in my fix that I think you're going to really appreciate. So we're going to save that to the end. So Jay, fix it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's me.
It's
the
your-
lead singer of your favorite band, the Banana Splits. We are. I am Team Banana Split today. I am doing a Fantastic Beasts fix. My fix is basically throwing away all of the Grindelwald stuff, all of the extraneous, larger magical community stuff is gonzo. I'm starting my movie very similarly. Newt Scamander has arrived in New York. He is still trying to get to Arizona to release the beautiful bird.
Yeah,
God, it was so pretty. Some of those
yeah.
those designs are so
it was
fun.
amazing. Yeah.
But the difference being, Newt Scamander is not in my movie is not a nobody. Newt Scamander has already written.
He's already written
He's
the book.
already written the book.
Okay.
People know who he is. People like it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Like he's trying to go through customs. And people are trying to like have him sign the thing, and he's going through customs in Ellis Island, or magical Ellis Island, or wherever they were.
Yeah, I was surprised that he went through like normal.
He
that
whole thing was weird.
Should have gone through like a magical portal for like
And then as he is going through, customs, and they are checking his bags and stuff. What's her name? What was the character's name? The R who was bad at her job.
I have.
Bro, I watched the movie.
I don't
couldn't
even.
tell
I
you.
can't. I can't tell you.
I'm gonna call her Kate.
Lynn? I don't. Maybe.
Lynn?
I don't. It was. They shortened it to something else because it was like a weird
Something.
magical name. They shortened to a.
I got you, gentlemen. The character played by Catherine Waterston's name is Tina, short for Porpatina. Back to you, gentlemen.
But she catches winds that Newt Scamander is coming through customs, and she is specifically an R in the Bureau of Magical Creatures.
Cool.
And
Yep.
she
Already
was like-
better.
And we learn from her interaction with her finding out that Newt Scamander is coming through customs and he's been cleared. She catches up with him and like double checks his stuff, and we find out through their interaction that like I know who you are. I know your whole deal. Like New York and America in general is has extraordinarily strict rules about magical creatures. We have gone out of our way. Like America had a lot more dangerous magical creatures than other places did. So like we have worked long and hard to like keep our communities safe. Like we have a zero tolerance policy for magical creatures. That's like the conversation we find out. But like she's kind of a jerk about it.
Sure.
And it's the kind of thing where like her supervisor like notices their interaction, and he's kind of since they're in the magical beasts, like her supervisor like comes and kind of scolds her a little bit. And it's like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Scamander. Like we love your book. Like if anything, like your book like really helped us like keep our community safe. Like we really appreciate you. He's like, I don't know why you're bothering this man. She's like, I feel he's got some stuff on him. I can just feel it. And he's like, okay, like I need you to go back to your office, please.
Yeah.
Like
Leave this man alone. He's a hero.
like we hire like we have like, do you want to be demoted to doing like random checks again? Because you can be. So Newt goes on his way. And I'm keeping a good amount of I'm keeping it like a good amount of similar to the beginning there. She follows him. She's like, I'm gonna take my lunch break. Like, I'm gonna take a walk, and she obviously follows him.
sure.
Newt is walking by the bank, and we like his briefcase drops, and we see basically a Niffler get out, and run to the bank. And so Newt chases him. We have the whole Jacob thing.
Sure.
Jacob comes in and he's trying to get a bank loan for his bakery.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff is so fun. Them, like, if we learn one thing from this movie, man, wizards could be robbing banks back then, huh? They really could have just been robbing banks, like, because it was that easy to just like apparate. Like,
you couldn't stop them. Couldn't even try.
they capture the Niffler, and she basically like pinches Newt, and like tries to bring him back to brings him back to her boss. With his suitcase, and she's like, I knew you had magical creatures on you, like, do you have anything else? And he's like, no, like, he's like obviously lying,
Of course.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Jacob goes on his way, and they get all the way back to the station. She's like, you need to like magically check this, like, it's a briefcase swap, it's just pastries. And she gets sent home for the day.
Sure.
She's like, leave Mr. Scamander alone. Also, could you sign this book for me, please? Like, oh, that'd be so great. Actually, can you make it out to my niece?
Yeah.
She like, she loves Nifflers. Like, and you've done such a good expose on them. Blah blah blah. Like, everywhere Newt goes in the magic community, like, everyone kind of knows him, and it's just fun.
Right. Everyone likes him. He's very
But
likable.
he's also awkward. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's what it's fun about it. Like, he's like really uncomfortable and doesn't know how to talk to people.
Yes.
He knows how to talk to creatures, but like everyone like really wants to talk to him.
That makes yes.
And they're kind of, and I think from reading their book, they're kind of expecting him to be like well spoken, and they're kind of
Right?
like,
Because he writes good.
oh,
yeah, he's
yeah. Like, I like that dynamic. Like, breathe a little breathe a little life into this.
yes. That's perfect.
And so Newt, he's like, I got to figure out where that guy is, to switch our
Get my briefcase back.
switch the briefcase back. And as he's basically like trying to figure out where this Jacob guy went, the Niffler gets out again, and he's like, I don't have anywhere to put you, so I will find you later. Like, he's just like, he opens up the case, and it's like the Niffler's like eating all the pastries. It's like, you gotta, I'll figure it out. He eventually like finds like Jacob on the street, like asking around, and it's a similar interaction where he's basically like chasing Jacob for the most part.
Sure.
Because Jacob is like, he remembers bumping into him and like everything going haywire and them trying to rob the bank. He's like, what are you, like, leave me alone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not a bank robber. You made me a bank robber today. Why did you make me a bank robber today? Like, and Newt is like trying to explain to him. And then I think they see the Niffler like pop up again in the similar jewelry heist situation. But the cops show up. And also on the APB, Lynn or whatever the hell her name is, like, catches the APB and hears the name Newt Scamander, and so
Right.
she's like, she pulls up. And she's like, I'll take care of it. And she shows up, and then there's just like all these Muggle cops. And eventually, like, she's like trying to like talk the Muggle cops down, and like it eventually gets to a point where something the cops say or do kind of like doesn't sit right with her.
Sure.
And she casts like a reveal spell is.
Right.
And all of the cops go from like Muggle cops holding guns to like black cloak wearing, like,
What?
they go to like full on like like bad wizards.
Sure. Oh,
Like-
Scourgers.
What's up?
Scourgers.
Scourgers?
Well-
What's that?
I mean, I don't want to derail your picks, but when I was doing my background research,
Oh, they're
there
not.
were
No.
okay,
No.
Scourgers were a bunch of
no,
evil
no.
wizards that were in America. Like, well, we're just gonna just do what we want, live free or die, right? You can't. There's no magical Congress can tell us what to do.
That's similar vibe, but this is more of like they have a little bit more of an organization to it.
Okay.
It's just they go from Muggle. I love the shot of them going from Muggle cops with guns to wizards holding wands.
Cool.
And we realize through their conversation that this is basically like the black market magical beasts enforcers.
Yep. Oh.
And they realize that like Newt was here, and he probably has stuff on him that they can kind of lift from him. And they're like, we know you probably have more than that Niffler that you have behind your back.
Okay.
And so there's a little bit of a magical fight. And that's when Jacob kind of gets hit by something that like he gets burned or whatever. And so they retreat, and she's like, and I think she's still like really, really like not trusting Newt,
Right.
But she takes them back to her place. We have a similar scene with Queenie and Jacob and all of that.
Okay.
But in their conversation at the dinner table, we realize that Jacob was like, "Oh, well, like, you know, this is a briefcase. Like, this is kind of where you kind of keep all the creatures, right?" And he's like, "Why would you know that?" He's like, "I don't know. I can hear like sounds in there, and like I opened it once, and I felt a whoosh or something, and then I closed it real quick. So like I'm not 100% sure what's going on here." And Lynn is like so upset about it, and she's like, "Okay, well, let's see. What do you have? Like, I need to know what you have. Like,
Right,
I can't be held responsible. Like, I can't willingly let you have all this."
Yeah, she's
this
lawfully
stuff.
good. She needs to follow the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we find out through this conversation that like the reason like she is like so strict about it was that she had lost her father to a
Magical beast.
what they
stampede.
assumed was a magical creature, but there was never any like
They never found the body.
they never found the body.
Oh.
There was never any explanation as to what it was. So like that's kind of we get a little bit more of her backstory.
Sure.
And so the first time they go into the suitcase,
Mm-hmm.
it's all four of them. We're not getting the initial
Yes.
suitcase with just Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
He's bringing all of them in there, and he has like a scroll with a list of all of the creatures, and we see that like it's like a living document, like most things in Harry Potter, and like
Oh, sure.
and
Yeah,
as
yeah.
he's like looking at it, like things are changing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going through and carrying. He's like, I just got to do inventory of everything, and he's showing them all the creatures, and we're seeing all the amazing
Yeah.
things.
It's crazy.
And it's truly incredible, and I feel like Newt talking to like Queenie and Jacob are having all their fun moments, but I think like Lennon, it's insane we don't know her name, but they really don't do a good job of reminding us of it. He's kind of just like explaining. Basically, you're seeing Lynn soften a little bit
Yes.
through her conversation with him, and as they're going through and they're doing all the inventory, we meet the large bird, and he's
Yep.
like, "This is why I'm here." It comes down to as Newt is going through his list, and she's looking at it too, and she's like, "Why are there?" She's like, "There's like blank spots," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" Oh no. And this is Newt looks at Jacob and is like, so it was just you just heard noises and there was like a whoosh when you opened it once. And he was like, yeah, about that. And then we cut to a scene of Jacob.
We flashback.
Yeah, we flashback of like Jacob walking down the street and like him like almost like getting hit by like him almost getting hit by a wagon, but then like he like saves the briefcase.
Sure.
And it's like a whole bunch of stuff, like him like narrowly missing the briefcase on stuff, and then like he just like to the equivalent of him like slipping on a banana peel. And the suitcase falling open, and just monsters just going, and being like, just because I think Dan Fogler is he's an incredible comedian. I just think that'd be so funny. And Newt's like freaking out, and he's like, okay, I need to give him inventory, figure out what's missing. They continue the tour, and much like in the original movie, they finally make their way to an Obscurus room. Mm-hmm. And Lynn freaks out. Her guard goes back up, and she's like, "Why would you even possibly have one of these? Like this is the A bomb." And he explains like, there are a lot of like misconceptions about the Obscurus. Like, yes, it is a parasite, and like it can be extraordinarily harmful. to the host body. He's like, I am trying to do enough research on it because there are a lot of cultures and a lot of like monster enthusiasts think that if they train and properly link with an Obscurus, they think that it will bend to their will. So like I'm trying to like confirm that is not the case and make sure people are aware of the fact that like these things like they can be dealt with and put away. They don't necessarily, because if you don't do it properly, you will kill the host person.
Right.
But it is extraordinarily difficult to do so. He was like, and then she's just like, oh, well, what happened here? And he's like, I didn't do a good enough job. And they kind of leave it at that. And she's like, oh, he's like, that just because I failed doesn't mean this thing needs to die.
Yes. Oh, that's very good. Yeah.
And so at this point, it turns into, we got to go catch some monsters.
We gotta go catch them all, Jay?
Yeah, we got to catch them all, baby. So they split up. Lynn and Queenie go, and Newt and Jacob go. Newt and Jacob do volcanic rhino.
Yeah.
Keeping that.
Sure,
That shit
it's great.
was hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Queenie and Lynn go to Macy's, and they deal with the little invisible monkey.
Oh, okay, sure.
But through they finally like catch the invisible monkey. I guess Newt gives them some form of Pokeball to catch them in such a way that they can be transported back.
Of course.
I don't know.
Well, there was like a bubble type of situation for the Obscurial, so like maybe they got bubbles. Maybe the bubbles are everybody.
Yeah, bubbles for everybody. They basically they catch the guy, but when they are exiting Macy's, someone tipped off
The bad guys.
the black market. And basically they don't hurt them or take them, but they take the monster. And they get back to Newt and Jacob, and they're like, oh well, the black market people have them. And I think this is just the perfect example for another amazing set piece and another amazing performance by Dan Fogler. And they're like, well, we're gonna have to go to the auction to get it back. The problem is that I'm Newt Scamander, and everyone in the magical beast community knows who I am, and they've already seen you two. And then they all look at Jacob, and he's like, "Oh, so we're gonna send the non-magic guy to like the most magic place." And so I think we figure out that there's like some
type of
there's some kind of creature that can like crawl into his brain, just because again I want to see him like. And I like the
okay.
And I like the idea of it, like it's like a brainipede or something. Something goes in his ear, and Newt's like, "Oh, it like really likes you," and he's just like, but it's the kind of thing where he, much like the giggle juice, like every once in a while he'll just be like, it's like it has to get used to your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the idea of like him like having to like walk into this like black market magical beast auction house.
Yeah,
and just be like, "Hello, I'm a human. Hello, fellow magical people. What's up? Wands, right? Where am I supposed to put it?" But I like the idea of they're like, cool. They're like, you just can't, like, Newt's like, I've got enough money, just bid on this thing so I can put it back in my collection. We'll be able to hear you through the centipede or whatever, and they'll be able to get in there. And then once like they're kind of scrying on him through like a scrying glass or however they do
magic, it's all good.
It comes to light that not only is like this black market auction house like they're not just like selling creatures. It's like it's also like, you know, there are certain like in the dinosaur auction.
I was just about to say, did somebody have like a laser pointer and they pointed at somebody, these magical beasts like start attacking them?
No. It's more that like it's not like Newt had gotten word that like, you know, the people sell these things because they want them as like fancy pets. Yeah. But like this is like, it's just like kind of a little bit of a bridge too far. It's like half a butcher shop. It's not like it's too much for Newt.
Yeah.
and then like they have to basically like stop him from going in. But then what he eventually sees is they get Jacob to like kind of go through the back and see what else is like going on there, because he was like, I need to free some of these creatures. And then they see in this back room, they see like a large magical cage where they are like shocking and trying to train an Obscurus.
Oh, uh-oh.
And they're like, that's a huge problem. And Lynn's like, this could destroy the entire city.
Yeah.
This could kill a lot of people. Like this, we've got to shut this down, but we've got to shut it down like the right way.
Right.
And Newt's like, okay, like there's still one more creature to find. I need to go capture this other thing with Jacob, and then if you could come back with your people,
the backup,
we can knock this down, because now we know where it is.
Right.
And it comes to light that like Newt goes and captures his last creature, and when we see in a cutscene that Lynn and her people get to the location and it's empty.
Right, of course.
But there is basically like it's empty, and then as like she's getting reamed out by her boss, like, and she's kind of like leaving the scene, like she gets swiped.
Oh.
And like Newt gets a message, like Jacob gets a message under his door that's just like, hey, the suitcase for your friend.
Yep.
Like easy trade. Easy trade. Like meet at Central Park at midnight.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Or meet. I think meet at Madison Square Park, because for a set piece, what's going to happen next? They meet, and Newt's basically just talking to like this like big boss man.
Sure, yeah.
About like, hey, like, okay, I'm gonna give you this suitcase for my friend. That's fine. There's like, I have all of the notes for how to take care of all these creatures. Like, I understand. Like, or I'll buy them back for you, however you want to do this.
Right.
Like, I need to know why you're trying to train an Obscurus. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, they're not, you can't contain them. There is one in my collection here. Like, but it is,
yeah,
it's killed before, it will kill again. Like, you can't handle this. And then like, and he's like, I don't, like, what? And then you see like kind of just like black just like flash across his eyes.
Okay.
And basically like Newt tries to pull a fast one and like capture him in the suitcase. But like as he does, like basically the guy freaks out and becomes an Obscurus. And the whole time like Newt is like apparating and chasing after him, and gets to a point like from rooftop to rooftop to rooftop. And basically like he has to contain, he gets like the guy contained like in the Times Square area.
Sure.
Like they're all the lights and everything, and I feel like they're just like hanging there, and he's like got him held, and like eventually it's just like you like this is a beast that like you cannot contain. Like, I need to be able to separate this from you. And he like starts like, it's basically like, I like the idea that Obscuruses are kind of what lead to Dementors.
Oh, sure.
He's like,
that's
I need to
cool.
stop you from becoming a Dementor. And that's kind of like the twist, where it's just like, oh, these Obscuruses, they turn people into Dementors. And so like he's basically like trying to like talk about like happy memories and fun things about this guy.
Yeah.
And then eventually the guy just fully turns into a Dementor and tries to kill Newt. And then the thing that saves him from this like newly minted Dementor is just, for some reason, we just see, because I like the idea of him being able to be involved more. We just see from the wand that he picked up that was dropped, we just see Jacob send out just a little pig Patronus He's just like a little pig Patronus that kind of circles the Dementor, and it just kind of like flies off.
Okay.
And then finally, like once there's a Dementor in the city, like all the sensors kind of pop. And
Of
then,
course.
like, it gets captured by all of Lynn's people, and it's like, yeah, like the Obscurus is like that's like they turn people into Dementors. Like the government, a lot of the government agencies like don't want you to know that. But that's how they get them. And it's like, oh, crap.
Yikes.
Okay.
That's
So
messed
that's
up.
kinda, it's more just monsters for the most part.
Sure.
But then the mid-credit, that's kind of the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We find out that Jacob may be magic after all. He's like, I don't know how I did that. It's like, I don't know how you did that either, but, well, we're going to figure it out.
Friendship.
Like, you definitely lost your job at the canning. You haven't been there in like 8 days.
Yeah.
That's another thing about the movie. I was like, he just still has his job? I don't know how. Mid-credit sequence, it's Jacob helping Newt in everything, and he's looking through the list of all the things that we saw from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob's like, I didn't know you had a Phoenix. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, it says right here. Phoenix in room 3. And they go check in room 3, and they open the door, and it's a Jude Law Dumbledore who's like putting Fawkes on a perch, and he's just like, I'm about to go do something extraordinarily dangerous, and I don't trust anyone else with Fawkes. Would you mind holding on to him for a little bit? You've done it before. I think you still have the feed, right? And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like if there's a resurrection, like, he's like, I know the drill. I wrote the book. He's like, great. And then Dumbledore just apparates out of the bag, like because he's Dumbledore.
He's Dumbledore. He's sexy Dumbledore.
And then it's just Newt just like brushing out Fawkes's feathers, and he's like, what have you two been up to? You are a mess. And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So we
Then
only
you
get
can-
one Fantastic Beasts movie that's fun and silly.
It was, and that's fun. That was
And
fun
then
and silly.
we get a Dumbledore trilogy that's all the Grindelwald stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and then like in the third Dumbledore movie, it can be like, oh, Jacob knows magic now, and but him and Newt are here to help
Yeah.
with a Griffin for some reason.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. That's my fix.
That was a lot more fun.
A lot more fun. It's just fun.
It's just fun.
It's just fun. Why not have it be fun? Why not have him already written the book?
Yes.
Why not have it be like,
Him good at his job?
yes.
Yes.
Because he is good
He's
at his
supposed to
job.
be good at his job.
I like the idea of a movie where everyone's good at their job.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
So you were the Sunday, and I'm the veal parmesan.
You say veal parmesan like you've never had veal parmesan.
I have not. Mine's all the, I minimize the beasts, but the beasts are important.
Okay.
Like, there was, when I watched this movie at basically 2 times speed, because it's like, it's just a bad movie, but in rewatching it for a second time, there were small, tiny little nuggets of that Grindelwald story that like, oh, this does make linear sense. The plan actually makes some sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the initial kernel of the idea of what made sense with the Grindelwald angle.
Okay.
And I'm going to run with that.
Yeah.
I've also gotten rid of a bunch of characters. I've added a new character in, and also Newt is good at his job.
Yes.
So, the Grindelwald version of this is actually like the beginning of an actual beginning of this arc of Dumbledore, Grindelwald, post World War I, leading up to World War II. His Grindelwald's attempt to start a magical world war.
Yeah.
Over his fascist ideas. So this is where it all starts. So again, just like your movie, we start with Newt on the job somewhere, being good at his job, catches a magical beast, and returns it to where it's supposed to be. Everyone's like, Newt Scamander, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your help. He's like, no problem. I'm glad to help the beast. Oh, and of course you guys, of course, blah blah blah. Because he's a little awkward.
Yeah.
Then we see him in his TARDIS, and I'm referring to it as his TARDIS the whole rest of the fix here. He's writing his book. He's mostly done with it, but he's
in the process.
He's in the process of writing his book.
That's also very fun.
And he's writing his book, and all of a sudden an owl shows up, He's got a letter for Newt. And Newt reads the letter and is like, "Hi, this is from the Ministry of Magic. We need you to go to New York City on an urgent case to help the Magical Congress of the United States as a friendship, a token of friendship from the Ministry."
Yeah, they're struggling with something you are
Exactly.
uniquely qualified to deal with.
Exactly. You are the one they need. They don't realize it, but we need you to go to help them. So Newt packs up, goes to New York. There's no weird customs things. His briefcase does not open up. He's good at his job. He can close his briefcase. Everything is fine. So he shows up and he knows he needs to go to the Woolworth building. That's where
Woolworth, yeah.
Woolworth, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the Congress is.
Yes.
So he goes there because he knows he has to go like, "Hi, I'm here from the ministry. They sent me to help you guys."
Hello.
So he just goes straight there.
Yeah, the more I think about him going through customs, the more it's silly. I'm like, why didn't they just...
Why wasn't there magical customs?
Couldn't you just port key? Like, I don't... Is it because of the ocean? Is it that much water? Is it like in Dresden where it's like moving water like will destroy a spell? I don't know.
Possibly. Who knows?
I don't know, man.
Who knows? So, but he goes to the Woolworth building.
Okay.
Woolworth building. Wow, I can't
Just
say it.
say the Congress building.
He goes to the Congress building.
I appreciate your dedication.
I'm trying.
But it's not...
He goes to where the
fact
Congress
that it's in
is.
the Woolworth building is like...
Woolworth. Woolworth. He goes to the Woolworth building.
You know, unique New York.
He goes to the Woolworth building and to register like, "Hi, I'm here. The ministry sent me. I'm here to help." But no one, and it's like, it's all crazy, because like we went to the ministry for the first time. It's like, there's so much stuff. It's so crazy here.
Yeah.
But Newt's like, he's looking around. So we get to actually see inside of the Magical Congress, and not just shots here and there. Like he actually, we get to see everything, and like it's crazy. He doesn't know where to go. Everyone's pointing him to different, because this is America. Different line, that line. No, that department is. It's a little bit too much bureaucracy, and he's getting bounced around a little bit as we kind of follow him, so we get to learn kind of a little bit what's going on. But no one knows where he should go because no one's expecting him.
Yeah.
And then he sees a bunch of ores starting to run out because there is a magical beast event happening at the piers. So he's like, "Well, I'm not going to wait in line anymore. I'm just going to follow them."
Yeah.
So Newt follows them
They
to the
should
piers.
know I'm coming. Like, we'll figure it out later.
I have a note from the ministry. From the ministry. So he follows the oars to this event that's happening at the piers. And it's like, big giant tentacle monster or whatever, just smashing this cannery. And we see Jacob like in his grips, right?
Yeah.
So Newt, being Newt's commander, like, the magical beast guy, front and center, like, "I know what hi, I'm from the ministry, I'm here to help, I know what I'm doing."
Tentacle.
Boom.
Yeah.
So Newt's handling the beast, and then we see Jacob kind of get tossed aside as Newt is handling this beast in a nice little set piece. And as as Jacob falls, Newt sees a very tall man in a duster help Jacob up.
Yeah.
And so Newt, finishes the situation, is able to capture the beast and settle him down, talks to the oars, and then he goes over to talk to Jacob. It's like, "Hi, I'm Jacob." It's the same Jacob. Absolutely same Jacob. He's working at the cannery. The cannery just got destroyed. And he's talking to this tall dude, about 6'4", slightly long brown hair, wearing a duster. And he's like, "Oh, thank you for your help. I really appreciate it." And then the head oar, Graves, comes up, and he goes, "Harry Blackstone, you son of a bitch. I told you you're no longer an oar. You need to get out of here." For those of you at home who don't know who Harry Blackstone is, he's got 2 more last names in his own series. It's Harry Dresden.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Okay.
The oar, Lynn and Queenie are not.
I don't know when it got to a point where you're doing the crazy fixes now. But this sounds so cool that I'll allow
that
it.
happening unlocked something, Jay. Also, this movie, Lynn and Queenie didn't help the movie at all.
Yeah.
Their characters didn't really help move the story forward.
What is her character name? We gotta look it up.
Look it up.
I felt like such an idiot the whole time.
But like having an oar who was bad at her job, I felt was disrespectful. Yes. And we needed somebody who was good at.
Kind of felt misogynistic, quite frankly.
A little bit, yeah. And I needed someone who knew what they were doing, but slightly outside the system for this
Her
fix.
name is Porpentia?
Tina. They called her Tina.
Yeah, Tina.
Porpentia. Tina, sure. Okay.
Sure.
So since Tina was not good at her job, and I needed somebody who was good at their job, but outside the system a little bit, I was like, you know what, like we would help with like an ex-or who's like a PI who like, oh, wait a second. You know what this movie needs? Harry Dresden. Needs Harry Dresden.
Yes.
Because Harry Dresden is amazing and we love him, so he needs to be in more things. So I'm putting Harry Dresden in this.
I just want to be clear that Adam likes Dresden because I told him to read the books.
I
I just want it to be clear because people would think that Adam was the Dresden fan, but I was the Dresden fan.
He was and still is, and he's the one. Hey, you should read this book. And I read the first one. I was like, "Give me all, give me a giant spoon. Get it in me."
Yeah, man, they go down smooth.
They go so smooth. Okay, so it's Harry Dresden, but we're going to call him Harry Blackstone because Dresden's IP and Blackstone's his first last name. Sure. So he's a PI. It's basically still Harry Dresden, but it's in the Harry Potter universe.
But we're not calling. Yeah. We're gonna sneak Harry Dresden in front of all these Potter fans, and they're not even gonna know what hit them. Yeah, love it.
Harry Blackstone. So Graves is yelling at him. And they're trying to talk to. They get the statement from Jacob. He's like, I don't know. I was just at work, doing canning stuff, and I saw some guy, or I think it was a guy from like average height, kind of in the shadows a little bit, did some type of hand motion, and all of a sudden this monster just appeared out of nowhere and just destroyed the cannery. And Graves is like, okay, great. Thank you for your thanks for telling us. And he goes to obliviate Jacob, but Harry on the sly blocks the spell and casts Confundus on Jacob to make it look like he was obliviated.
Yeah.
So Graves like, okay, great. Okay, we get the system. All right, everyone head back to the Congress, but we'll meet and
because Jacob might be able to identify the guy.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so he turns, and then Graves turns to Newt and says, "You need to come back and register the wand or whatever," because he had to do that in the thing in the normal movie. You need to come back and register, and we'll see you. We'll see you. You need to be there by tomorrow. So Newt, Harry, and now Jacob, who just gets unconfunded or whatever, he's like, go back to Harry's office, and we meet Lady the cat and Elle the little wiener dog, because I flipped it because it's short for elephant.
No, I get it.
Because mouse. Get
yes,
it? It's a small dog.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so happy. So Harry turns to Newt and says, you need to really help me out with my case. And Newt's like, what are you talking about? What case? And then Harry goes like, well, I mean, it's nothing really. It's just we're going to try to figure out who's the guy who's trying to start the magical world war. Come on, let's go. Back to his office. And we see Harry's office. And he's got one of those, like, there's plans, Jerry. It's like, everything's,
Carol! Yeah.
So this is the giant exposition scene of like, hey, here's what's really going on. Last year, the Orrs busted a black market magical beast ring, and this was actually in the movie.
Yeah,
they mentioned it's like, oh, we busted something last year. So they were able to. They arrested a lot of the handlers, but not the guy who actually was running it.
Gotcha.
But ever since they arrested or they broke that place up last year, there have been magical beasts attacking Muggles and other magical beast events in the last year that have increased by like 200%.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. It's happening quicker and quicker, but nobody in the Congress, and Graves especially, does not seem to be like putting two to two together that like clearly something is going on.
Someone's attacking. It's not just random.
It's not random.
These are not beasts.
Right. So clearly there's some intent behind this because the people of New York, the New Yorkers, are like starting to get freaked out.
Well, I think in that scene you could also have Newt being like, well, these creatures don't attack unless they're provoked, or like he has information about different like creatures, and Blackstone's like, okay, like I think you're starting to get what I'm putting down here. Yeah.
Because that's Harry's explaining to Newt the situation. Plus, also, like, hey, this is what the Magical Congress of the America is like. Here's the situation in America. Like, we really do not want to. They really do not want to interact with Muggles because, hey, here's some backstory of what happened in the past with like the Salem witch trials, and like it really messed people up. They killed 20 witches and wizards. And they even had like statues. It was in the movie. They had statues of like 4 of the witches that were murdered at Salem. So like it really messed them up. So he can explain all of this stuff while Newt can explain more about the magical beasts and stuff, and also explain some of this to Jacob.
Yeah.
And all of that is to basically kind of come back to what the whole point of this is Harry's like, I think someone is trying to set off the Muggles to like start another Salem witch trial S type of thing. They're obviously the public is getting freaked out, and they want to direct this anxiety towards the magical community. And I think I know who that is. I think it's Grindelwald. And of course, Jacob's like, who's Grindelwald? And Newt's like, that's insane, but not as crazy as you think, because you're not the only one who thinks that. Newt pulls out his, I'm from the Ministry, and says a magic word or whatever, a phrase, and on the back of it is actually a special message from Dumbledore with other instructions to Newt saying, I think Grindelwald may be in New York, and I think it's possible that these events are connected.
These magical creature attacks are connected.
So I need you to obviously help them out with the magical beasts going on, but also keep an eye open for something along these lines, because we've lost track of him.
Yeah.
So now they're on the same page, and then he's like, this is all leading towards, I think Grindelwald's probably trying to figure out a way to start a world war between the Muggles and the Wizarding world. And that's really bad. And Jacob goes, no, you guys don't understand how bad that's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was in World War II, and it just ended 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now Jacob joins the conversation of, no, let me tell you what this is going to be like. The horrors I saw in World War I, if we can do that to each other, then this magical world, why couldn't we do something magical and wonderful with the things you guys can do? But if we turned that on you guys, with all your abilities and stuff, this world would end.
Yeah,
this would be
we'd kill
horrible.
each other.
We would kill each other. We can't let this happen. We almost killed each other a couple years ago. We got to stop this. Yeah. So now everyone's got information everyone else needs, and so like, okay, here is the plan. Newt, you have to go back to the Congress, obviously, to register and stuff, and let them know that you're here officially.
I had paperwork from the Ministry.
From the Ministry. So while you're doing that, Jacob and I will go to the records room and figure out and find more information about that arrest they did, that bust last year of the black market magical beasts. So they go to the Congress, and then it's like the next day or whatever. Newt goes to the Congress. Newt talks to Graves and talks to the president, and then we're actually going to see him talk to them in a long conversation, and we're going to get their point of view.
Yeah.
And they're not entirely wrong.
Okay.
Because like we're gonna see more of the president. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's been 300 years that the Magical Congress has been here. We can't just come out to the Muggles. If they knew about us, like, it would be disastrous. We've been quiet for too long. Like, at this point, it's too late. We have to stay separated.
Like, our society like hasn't been as like we have not been as like intertwined as you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has been a very separate existence being a witch or a warlock in this society.
Yeah. Humans fear change.
Yes.
And a lot of it's going on right now in the Roaring '20s, with the world just being over that world war, and all the stuff happening right now. Yeah. And we're already seeing backlash to all of this change happening too fast for their society. Uh-huh. Like, I'm a female president. You think they'd be cool with something like that? No, they would not. Like, we're seeing like So, like, we know we can't do that. So while they're talking, and we're actually seeing the character of Graves and the president, like, giving their point of view, Harry and, of course, Jacob are down in the evidence room figuring stuff out. The bag, they go look through records and stuff like that, and the bag of holding, basically, that all the magic creatures were, is missing from evidence. And Graves is the person who checked it out last, like, 10 months ago.
Oh.
So after Newt registers and stuff like that, everyone meets back at Harry's office, and they're like, okay, so blah blah blah. This is what I learned. This is what we learned. Blah, blah. Graves. It might be Graves. Maybe we don't know how he would be tied to Grindelwald. It doesn't seem like he would as a head Auror, but like it's his signature who signed up the bag. But like, okay, and we also have a list of all the magical creatures that were impounded or taken or whatever when they arrested everybody, and looking at all the charts and stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, this list actually adds up. Like, it's 1 for 1. There's only 2 beasts that have not attacked the city that was in the bag, and one's fill out this one's crazy and this one's what's an obscure, and he was like, an obscurial. That's no, you guys don't. And we can also, at this point, like, they can kind of go in and they go into the TARDIS, and Newt can like show them stuff and show them the book and like, this is what I do.
I think we can both agree, like, the Obscurial is, as a concept, or like as a, I mean, like, that CG was pretty dope.
Yeah,
like a lot of that sequence was pretty rad.
Yeah,
like it's a good bad guy from a monster, like for a monster movie, pretty good.
So of course, Jacob is like, this is amazing and crazy, and he befriends like a little creature, and it like sneaks into his pocket and stuff. Like, hey,
do yours also make Dementors?
No, we'll get to that. So so that everyone can see what Newt's been doing and something that can be inside the TARDIS for a little bit. So they read, it's like, okay, well, we don't. Okay, so now we have a lot of information. We know kind of what the plan is. We just don't know who's doing it, and we don't know what's going to happen next. We need like a lead or something. We know what's happening. We just don't. And then Harry goes, well, in times like this, there is someone I can talk to that may have an idea. So they head on down to Mac's Bar. Max Speakeasy.
Max Speakeasy.
Max Speakeasy.
Yeah, keep the Speakeasy sequence.
So we keep this
because we want to watch Dan Fogler drink giggle water.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's the best thing.
It's the best.
It's so funny. It's maybe one of the best line reads of all time. It's so funny.
So they go to Mac's Speakeasy, and Harry talks to Mac a little bit, and he's like, well, I don't know how... Mac's maybe a little bit more talkative than he is in the books, but, like, that makes sense. Well, I mean, have you ever looked into the newspaper that keeps printing all the stuff about the magical attacks? Because there seemed to be, like, one paper because of that's basically, like, the Daily Bugle of Spider-Man's a menace. Like, look at all these magical... look at these creatures.
Quibbler?
No, but it could be.
Oh.
But I just had, Mac being like, hey, check the newspaper because, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And when they leave the building, when they leave the Woolworth building, there's a little newsie being like, extra, extra, read all about it. The cannery but is destroyed by a dystopian creature. And it's like, so we hear him talking about it, and then Harry's like, wait a second, all the clippings I have on my board are all from the same newspaper. Maybe we should go check that guy out. Okay, great. So they head over to this newspaper, could be the Quibbler, or it's probably, whatever. And they talk their way into talking to, I'm just going to call him J. Jonah Jameson, because it's just Triple J. It's a Triple J equivalent.
Sure.
And they're trying to talk to him about it, like try to like get on the slide, ask him about stuff, but he sees through it immediately. And it's like, you're just trying to intimidate me. You're one of them. Blah, blah, blah. Like, whoa. We're just trying to figure out what's going on here, but it seems like you always have the leads.
These are human newspapers. These are Muggle papers.
These are not a Muggle paper.
I'm sorry, forgive me.
I'm sorry. This is a human paper.
Yeah, that would
It's really driving the, hey,
gotcha.
Like a lot of people are like, reading this information. It's like the main reason, like, the Muggles are getting scared about stuff. So they try to talk to him, but like, he's not having it. He calls them out on it. So they leave the building, and they're trying to figure out like what's the next move. What do we do? Like, I mean, that was kind of a decent lead, but that didn't seem to really pan out. But as they're outside trying to figure out what's going on, Triple J comes out with a little photographer and is like, "Hey, there's an attack at Central Park." I'm like, "Oh, fantastic! We can get there before them." They grab Jacob and apparate. He's like, "Whoa!" So they pop to Central Park. There's obviously a magical beast happening thing going on there. They handle it. They could be like the Rhino. They handle it. But as they handle it, as they finish it up, we see Triple J and the photographer taking pictures of both stuff. And then the Aurors show up. And that's when Graves like, okay, this clearly, you know what? There's clearly something in that briefcase or your TARDIS or whatever. You're coming with us. This is too many coincidences. You're everywhere these things are happening. Nuh-uh. You're coming with us. So Graves arrests all three of them. Head back to the Ministry. This is Act 3. So they're all locked up. And what's his name? Jacob's gonna get obliviated, and the president goes to the point where to the obliviation ceremony. I don't know. Obliviation. So as Jacob is led in there, the president asks him a couple more questions because like this is the biggest breach between Muggles and the Wizarding World in her tenure.
Yeah.
And so she wants to question him a little bit, and he's like, "We are trying to stop a war. I was in World War I.
Yeah.
you need to believe me. You do not want this. We are trying, and he's like, because they don't believe Newt or Harry, but Jacob's like, we're trying to. Here's the information that we've gotten. You need to believe us. Why would I?
Wipe my brain, fine, but like before I go, like
but
you need to take
yes,
this
you
seriously.
need to take this seriously. So it actually gets to the president, and she asks for the room, and she and Jacob talk.
Oh,
So
that's good. I like that.
because we really need a scene with her. We need more with her because she's like really freaking important.
Yes.
So we have a scene between the president and Jacob where they have like a one-on-one, and Jacob's like, I was in World War I. Like, this is everything my experience there was horrible. From what I've learned, I've known about you guys now for 36 hours, like 2 days.
Yeah.
Everything. This is incredible. But like, I understand why you guys would be worried about us. I'm worried about us.
Yeah.
And
But also, like, if you think you can just wipe us off the map with magic, you're wrong.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
we'll kill each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know you want to keep this all a secret. It's for everyone's safety. But I don't think that's going to be around for
not
very much longer.
feasible.
It's not feasible for very much longer. We're bumping up against
We're in
each
the
other.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know it's scary, but like, I've known about you guys for 2 days. And I feel like maybe I could be a good start of like the possibility of us coexisting, at least maybe a little bit of the start of it. Because like, I don't want anything bad happening to you guys. You guys all seem really nice. I mean, that Graves guy's a little weird, but like, so the president's like, you know what? Jacob sways the president, and I was like, you know what? Okay, we're not going to obliviate you, and Harry and Newt are free to go, and Graves, you need to stay. You're in lockdown here in the building because, hey, Graves is the one that signed out the bag of holding.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. They kind of match up notes and it's like, okay, so we know what's going on. We got that, the rhino, but we're still missing an obscurial. We don't know where they could attack next, but it's probably going to happen soon because remember, it happened. This movie's happening in December.
Yeah.
And I also looked it up. It was taking place in 22, and the tree lighting ceremony at Rockefeller doesn't start until like 36.
Interesting.
So I was like, I wanted to happen at like the tree lighting.
Yeah,
but
it's too good of a set piece.
Yeah. So like that, and so like, where would they possibly, where would an attack like do a lot of damage and really like push the Muggles over the line?
Yeah.
And so Jacob's like, well, there's a big holiday ceremony that's happening at Madison Square Garden or some type of time. Yeah,
City.
something that's of the time and like a big thing. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's our best lead. Let's go there and see. So the president and Harry and Newt and Jacob and a couple oars, not Graves, he's locked down at the Congress, go to this event to try to see if there's going to be
They're at the
an attack.
Waldorf Astoria.
And sure enough, Jacob sees a guy who looks awfully familiar to what he saw earlier doing a thing. And I was like, all of a sudden, like just a bunch of black smoke comes out of his back. And so Jacob's like, oh, I found him, Harry, I found him. So Newt handles the Obscurial as it's going around and Newt's trying to contain it. And Harry fights with this person, or no, Jacob, it turns out to be the Triple J is the guy. And so Jacob just like knocks him out. And I was like, I got him, I found Harry. And so Harry comes over and like they're talking. And as Jacob and Harry are talking, you see Triple J just kind of like Nosferatu and pop back up with a wand in his hand and goes, Avada Kedavra. No, Avada Kedavra.
Avada Kedavra.
Avada
Avocado.
I would not do
Cadaver.
well at spells because of my dyslexia.
You really
I
wouldn't.
would not. Leviosa.
Avada Kedavra. It's Avada Kedavra.
So he says the death spell, and as you see the green light about. Oh no! Yeah, it's so
He's holding it so,
so
weird.
weird. Just grip that damn
Holding
wand.
like a little ween. Look at my little ween. Avada Kedavra.
So as the green light's about to hit Jacob, Harry jumps in front of him with his wrist raised, and you see the spell bounce off of a blue dome in front of him.
Hell yeah.
And you see a little charm on his bracelet kind of like singe off. He's like, it's the little thing I got when I was an Auror.
Hell yeah.
Because there's no way Harry
Hell
Dresden's
yeah.
getting taken out with a death spell. He's got that
man.
damn
No
charm.
way, man. He's
got that shield charm, baby. Baby!
Harry Dresden casts death spells on himself.
That's how metal he is.
Yeah, man. That's how, yeah.
So Newt's tangling with the Obscurial. Harry's dealing with what he thinks is Triple J, and eventually it turns out he's like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm Grindelwald. And Harry's like, well, gotta go. Nope. Gotta get out. I need reinforcements. We gotta get out of here. And Jacob's like, throwing things and trying to be helpful, like, just kind of dodge, just trying to be a nuisance. Yeah, he's kind of helping a little bit, but like, okay, no, we've got to go.
Yeah.
Eventually, so they run away because sometimes encounters you need to run away.
Yes.
So they run away.
So
Newt finally, not corns, but like captures or settles down the Obscurial.
Okay.
And like the president and the Aurors show up and they're like, we need to kill that thing. And then Newt steps in front of him and is like, no, you can't. You don't understand. It's a kid. You can't kill it. This is my job. I need to take care of it. And basically the same speech of this, like, that you kind of had in yours, like, let me do my job. Let me see. I mean, I can make sure that it won't hurt anybody, but at least let me attempt to save him.
Yeah.
Because you turn back and it's just a scared little 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Who's never done anything wrong. He doesn't know. So the president relents and is like, okay, you can take it. And Newt puts it in a little bubble and brings it into the thing, and takes it in, and it's like the president can even see, like, this is my job. This is what I do. I try to save magical creatures.
Absolutely.
From muggles, from us, like
I'm from the Ministry.
The Ministry likes me. So everyone kind of tells everybody what's going on. Grindelwald was here. It was the guy who was running the newspaper.
Which is a great way of him starting the war, but him running a Muggle newspaper talking about Yeah, it's pretty good.
So the president, everyone's on. So it wasn't Graves. He must have somehow gotten to the Congress and to force his name or something like that, or got a mind wiped or mind controlled or whatever. So he's basically free and clear. So Graves wasn't at fault. So basically this kind of wraps up. Everyone's kind of happy. Harry is officially like an official PI. He was like a PI to begin with, but like really now in good standing with the Congress as he's kind of hopefully helped to stop a world war from happening. Jacob. You know what? I'm going to say Jacob goes with... I'm changing it. Jacob is going to go with Newt. Because Newt's like...
it's fun.
Because the cannery's destroyed.
I will say, the one thing the original movie gets, him having to forget about them and walking out into the rain, that's good filmmaking.
Sure.
Like, it's good. It bums me out, though, because I'm just like... You're just going to bring him back for the second one.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But also, why are you setting up Queenie and Jacob if it's just gonna completely just blow up in all of our faces?
Yup. So Newt talks to Dumbledore, like, "Hey, you were right. Grindelwald was here, but he left. He's gone. We don't know where he is. But you know what? America's got a lot of magical beasts and a lot of places I haven't been in a very long time. I'm going to explore here, and I got a friend now. Yeah. So I'm around if you need me. But I'm heading west." I'm going to check out Arizona. I heard there's a really cool Thunderbird out there.
Oh, cool.
So, and that's it. That's the end of the movie.
That's great.
No mid-credit scenes, no nothing. Just...
Wait, for real?
None. Don't need it. No, seriously, there isn't any.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
You just were saying that and you're like, oh, no, I'm lying to you.
No. No, because I did everything. Set everything up. Everyone, it's in a good spot, and Newt's just going to explore America for a while. And Grindelwald's in the wind. He's not captured. He's in the wind. Because as we set up in this movie, there is a lot of... Oh, there was a line that I wrote. Oh, crap. There was a line that I wrote I was actually really proud about. I think it was Harry was talking about it in their big scene about basically saying, like, America is like a really cool... This country's really cool, and there's a lot of good things it can do, but... There are a lot of cracks in the foundation of this country that if somebody with enough intelligence and influence could exploit to really bring everything down around us.
Yeah.
And Grindelwald is that type of person.
Yeah.
Because there are scourgers out there who could be, out west who could help destabilize things. The schools up in Maine, we've only got one school for this giant country. Like, there's a lot of little things that you could poke.
I think you make the line something of this, like America is a country is a country of builders. Like, the sky's the limit. But the problem is that like they sometimes forget about how weak the foundation is, and it just takes one person to come and it'll all come crashing
exploit
down.
Everything.
Yeah.
And because like this would get, I think, because I don't need a mid-credit scene because like Grindelwald's in the wind and Newt's still around, but like so like things are still progressing towards some type of confluence of anger and war is about to happen because because we know it all leads to Grindelwald and Dumbledore fighting eventually and getting the wand. But like this gives us an opportunity to stay in America a little bit longer and learn more about American wizarding world because like there's a lot of cool things we can learn here. You put it in the backstory, like why not explore some of these themes instead of just heading back to Europe and being like, we're gonna talk for 2 hours about everyone's family lineage and bring back a character who was freaking dead, and should have remained dead. It's so bad, Jay. It's so bad. God, I don't fall asleep during movies, but I remember we were at that thing like, why are we still in the crypt? I'm falling asleep.
It's so dark.
It's so dark. Shut up. They're on a boat. Shut up. Can we just... Is this movie almost over? No? God, please just be... I want to go home.
Yeah, man. And we were invited to that cordially vibe.
We were.
Oh, boy. Well, we did it.
I really like both our... Your fix was fun, dude.
Yeah, it's just fun. I just want to have fun in the Harry Potter world. It doesn't all have to be so damn serious.
No.
Like, it just doesn't have to... I don't know.
But if you're going to have just adults as the main characters, like, it needs you can take it a little bit more seriously.
Sure, but I don't think you have to.
You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did it.
We did do it.
Thank you guys so much for listening today. If you're listening to this on any of the podcatcher apps, if you wouldn't mind, leaving us a review, maybe a 5 stars, please. Maybe you could write in your review how you would fix Fantastic Beasts, or whatever your favorite Fantastic Beast is, or if you've ever had a veal parmesan banana split.
Sunday, yeah.
Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell and doing that YouTube that you do so well. Cowards. I dare you. And tell your friends. We love making this show, and the response has been so great, and you guys are the best listeners we could possibly ask for. So let's grow more and more and build an army. And as we end every episode, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the slow...
You sound like the aliens from Galaxy Quest. Bye, everybody.